In our last few examples, we go backwards again given the hypotenuse. So the rule is, if you're given the hypotenuse, write it down and then divide by root 2. Once again, we're going to need to rationalize, so we're going to multiply by a useful form of 1, which in this case will be root 2 over 2, root 2 over root 2. Multiplying across in the top, I get 48 root 2. Multiplying across in the bottom, I get root 4. The top I'll leave alone. The bottom is just 2. And 48 divided by 2 is 24. So each leg is 24 root 2. In number 18, the hypotenuse is 5. So write down the hypotenuse, divide by root 2 to get a leg. Because you're not allowed to have a radical in the denominator, we're going to rationalize. On the top we have 5 root 2. On the bottom we have root 4. The top I'll write again, 5 root 2. And the square root of 4 is 2. Now in this case, the 5 and the 2 don't reduce. 48 over 2 in the problem before did reduce, but 5 over 2 does not. So this is the answer, 5 root 2 over 2. In number 19, the hypotenuse is root 10. To find the leg, I'm going to have to divide by root 2. Now, there's a rule with radicals that if you have two numbers that you're dividing and they're both under a radical, you can just divide like usual, but keep the answer under a radical. Since 10 divided by 2 is 5, root 10 divided by root 2 is root 5. So each leg is root 5. Now this last question is something you might see on an SAT. Given that A, B, C, D is a square with perimeter 40, find the length of BD. Well, a square has a certain meaning to me. And one of the things I know about a square is that each of the angles that make it up is a right angle. So if I look down here at angle C, I know that it's a right angle, so I'm going to put the marking in to indicate that. The other thing I know about a square is that all the sides are the same. So I'm going to put tick marks to indicate that. Now if the perimeter is 40 and all of the sides are the same, think for a moment what each side would be. 10. Now, I'm going to focus mainly on the right triangle that's on the bottom of the page. Right here, I'll make it polka dotted. Okay, so that's where I'm looking. And according to the if sides then angles theorem, these angles are congruent. And because all the angles of a triangle add up to 180, and I've already used 90 for this guy, these two must be 45. So I have a 45, 45, 90, and I have special rules for the 45, 45, 90. And the rule says if you have a leg and you want to find the hypotenuse, you're supposed to multiply by root 2. So let's write down the leg. Let's multiply by root 2. And we end up getting 10 root 2. So the hypotenuse is 10 root 2. And let's see if that answers our question. Find the length of BD. Did we just find BD? I think we did.